Hey guys, what's up? It's Finch. Welcome to Tournament Tuesday. It's a new bit I'm trying on my channel where I showcase some specific tournament games I play every single Tuesday. If it catches on, then I might make it a normal fixture going into 2021, so this is a bit of a trial run for it. We already have Metagame Monday, so I figured this could be cool. Or maybe you guys prefer more of the metagame stuff and we can stick to that. We'll wait and see. Anyway, today I'm going to be posting 3 videos of 3 end-of-the-year tournaments that I participated in. So, to sum it up for you guys, basically, over the course of the year, specific points are tallied, and these points are given to people who do well in tournaments throughout the year. So, for example, in Black and White Overused, I won the 3 big circuit tournaments. I won the Winter Seasonal, the Summer Seasonal, and the Global Championship. There might have been one other tour earlier in the year, the Black and White Cup. I finished in the semifinals of as well, and it was like a 526-man tournament. So, all in all, I did about as well as one possibly could have done in the Black White circuit. I had like 2 times as many points as the next seed, so I was rolling pretty hot coming into these tournaments, and I was the 1 seed, and right off the bat, I'm against the 16 seed Bihi. So Bihi was one of the top 16 or maybe 20 if some people dropped out. Let's say people in Black-White tournaments this year thus far. He did pretty well in Black-White Cup, I believe. Overall, Bihi's a really good player, someone I've teamed with before. He's more known for his DPPOU, and he's definitely also a great SSOU player, but Black-White's a generation he's familiar with as well. He's pretty much good in all the old generations, so I knew I had my hands for it off the bat. Now, knowing his playstyle, I know he's probably a bit more unhinged and offensive in Black-White than maybe generations where he's a bit more practiced in. So what I wanted to do right off the bat was I kind of wanted to give myself a natural advantage. I know that Sash Alakazam does pretty well against offenses, and I paired it with a Scarf Latios in this team, I believe. I might have actually been Specs this one, I'm not sure, but regardless, I wanted to have a couple fast Pokemon, and I also wanted to be able to really slow down his momentum with Protect, Rangers, Tentacle, and Rain, so that was the idea here. I'm going to try and go through all of my team process very briefly, and then go through the games here as well. I know a lot of you guys aren't as familiar with Black-White OU, but I just want to say it's my favorite generation. It's also my best generation, so I'm super passionate about this stuff. So if you guys are more into the SS stuff, I'm going to be covering an SS tournament as well later today. And in addition to that, also throughout the week for the Urshifu Suspects, so stay tuned for that. But also, if you guys want to learn about old generation, specifically Black-White, now is the time for you, my friends. So yeah. As for Bihi, he actually brought a team I've seen most of before. It looks like a French kind of McMeganish team with Gyarados. Now, I know right off the bat, this is probably going to be either Scarf on the Latios or Scarf on the Gyarados. I've seen a couple European players use Scarf Gyarados and Rain with Moxie, and it's low-key really threatening if it gets much damage on the Ferrothorn, but I have a nice tech on this team where I could lead with, as you see here, Thundurus-T, and normally they can either get a Draco or a Trick off into Ferrothorn turn 1, but I haven't protected Scout for Trick, so if he Tricks here, not only do I get to keep my leftovers in my Ferrothorn, but he's going to give me a Choice Specs boosted Hidden Power Ice on turn 2, instead of getting a Draco off that could kill me or do 35% to the Ferrothorn, so that's important for the Gyarados matchup, and later on the Latios matchup as well, so I'll take that. Yeah, as you see, he actually gives me the Specs, which also means I know for a fact right off the bat that he's going to be a Scarf variant of the Gyarados. Now here, Draco Meteor is a roll. I'm actually not a very bulky Thundurus-T, as I'm not a substitute variant, so I figure like he's going to switch out. I go Pharaoh, he goes Ferrothorn as well, so we do the handshake of early rain games and we knock each other's Ferrothorns off. Now, at this point, we're both at 86, 87%. I get Rocks Up, he gets Rocks Up, again, the handshake. Now, the key here is we both go for 1 spike, but in this type of game, if I have a team that has more than 2 Pokemon vulnerable to spikes, which I almost always do with Rain because it's Politoed, Tentacruel, Ferrothorn, I try and switch out when I notice that my opponent has more or an equal amount of spike immune Pokemon. The idea is I almost always carry Encore on something like Alakazam or on Politoed, or I might have a substitute plus Focus Blast variant of Thundurus-T. There are a number of ways to take advantage of Ferrothorn being a point. So the idea is they almost always go for that second layer. And I know for a fact that there's no way Bihi is going to click an attacking move into my Ferrothorn. He's going to take damage on a turn I potentially spike. So I know going to my Magic Guard Alakazam is a super safe play there. So I get it in on that spike, and I don't think he really minds getting up a 3rd layer of spike, and he would also want to break my Sash. He stays in. And that's fine. I don't mind letting up all these layers of spikes because now I have Alakazam in getting a free attack off against anything in his team. And as you see here, Psychic's going to do a nice 46% to the Politoed and get a drop. So even if he got a triple protect, which seems unlikely, then I would still be okay to get the kill here. Even if he got a double protect, rather, because double protect would have put him in range. But yeah, we'll take it. Doesn't even go for the double protect, and I get the Psychic off there, so it's cool. Now he goes right back to Ferrothorn, and that's big for me because he's taking another 6.25% from rocks and 12.5% from spikes, and that opens up the game a ton for Alakazam and Latios later in the game, which is super important for me in this matchup. At this point, I go back to Thundurus-T, knowing I don't need its health for anything, and on top of that, I have the ability to threaten its entire team as the Latios is in Focus Blast range. So I'm able to really take advantage of this here. He goes Latios here, and thankfully I do connect on the Focus Blast, taking him out. So that puts me in a 6-4 position. I already feel like I'm in the lead here, and that's really why I timed the Ferrothorn sequence as I did. I feel like while I might be down a couple layers of spikes, I'm now up a couple of Pokemon, and that benefit absolutely reaped the reward. So he goes for Hidden Power Ice here. He doesn't get the roll, but can I go for it? It could have been a speed tie, but he probably was just max plus speed, but that managed to roll was in my favor. So I get a lot of damage off him as well, just a couple percent more, because I probably have more special attack, really depends on the set. Either way, I can go Latios here, take this out with Dragon Pulse, and I'm in a pretty good spot here, as his ability to take Dragon Pulse now is only, Tentacle and Ferrothorn. He doesn't want Gyarados taking any more damage than he already has, so he goes Tentacle here, and I'm actually okay with him getting a spin-off, because I get damage off. I am Specs, yeah, I'm Specs on this variant. Okay, yeah, so yeah, that's still fine now. And now I do 61 there, so it turns out the crit didn't even matter. The speed didn't even matter on Thundurus-T, because he would have died to Dragon Pulse anyway, yeah. Sorry, this game was from a month and a week ago, so it's a bit hard to remember. Anyway, he goes for Protect, which is my play, and he goes Ferrothorn. I'm fine just spamming Dragon Pulse into this, because I know the Gyarados is quicker than me, and I don't think he's Gyro Ball, which means that he can't actually put me in Gyarados range unless he locks into a non-Waterfall move. So I'm fine just clicking Dragon Pulse here. He goes Whip. That actually gets a crit, and that puts me in Waterfall range, which actually makes this a game where he could potentially get enough luck with flinches to win. So I'm like, okay, that's actually a little annoying, I'm not going to lie. He goes for the Waterfall, and he gets the kill there, so I'm like, oh, damn. That's not great, so I go Ferrothorn here, and I'm like, okay, if he gets 2 flinches, I actually lose this game. And I just need him not to flinch here, and I get a knockoff. And I get the knockoff, and now I know I'm in the clear because Alakazam outruns it. I really just need to not get flinched there. But if he flinched me there, then after I Protect, I could potentially get a Toxic off with Tentacruel. And then I Protect on both Tentacruel and on Politoed. So I probably would have just needed 1 or 2 double Protects, because double Iron Barb puts him in damaged range. And then, assuming my Alakazam was able to 1v1 the Tentacruel, which it should have, then with that toxic damage, it still would have been fine. So that's why I said 2 flinches. But yeah, he doesn't even get the first one, so I was fine there. He goes Earthquake, and now from here, Alakazam Psychic always is going to be able to 2-KO, because despite Gyarados being very specially bulky, he is uninvested here. I get a crit to one-shot it, that proves my point. But yeah, that makes it a little easier, and then he forfeits. But again, even if the Tentacruel got a double Protect, Psychic was still a roll in my favor. And on top of that, I have my own Politoed and Tentacle in the back, so I think I was fine there. Moving on, game 2, I brought a team that I kind of consider to be an all-reliable team, if you will. One of those teams that stuck with me for a while now. I've changed sets, I've changed, specific little intricacies of the EV spreads and whatnot over the years, but this is a concept that I defined. McMegan is someone that I like to say is the kind of creator / popularization, or that's not a word, popularizer, creator, innovator, person who kind of spread the word about, whatever you want to say. It's been a long day, and I'm recording in a different place than normal because, unfortunately, the power strip in my basement kind of went kabloom. It's a strip of the powerless variety, now one could say. It's a strip of the powerless variety because now I can't do this, so I've got to record in a different place, and it probably changes the pitch of my voice and also makes my head scramble, so pardon me if this is a little unprofessional, but anyway, it's a team I've been around with, so McMegan, or whoever it was, came up with the Fighting Gem Landorus-T set with the idea is you click Swords Dance, and Superpower +2 with a Fighting Gem can take out things like Skarmory after Stealth Rock and do a ton of damage to things like Rotom-Wash, even at +0, but also +2, forget about it. A Breloom that thinks it could live on any attack, even Hidden Power Ice, and get back at you with strong attacks itself is going to be gone, Nothing really likes to switch into it is the point. And the idea is to use that set to clear things like Breloom, clear things like Rotom-Wash, Skarmory, etc. Even get a Hidden Power Ice off, because Swords Dance plus Hidden Power Ice isn't always expected against Landorus-T, Opposing Chomp, Gliscor, and then open up the game for Scarf Garchomp in the bag. And I know that Behe tends to like more offensive structures this generation, again, so therefore, as an extension of that, I knew that Scarf Garchomp late game with the right support would be super devastating as it's fast. And again, I'm pairing it with something else that's fast, like a Specs Latios on this team. So the idea against him kind of was making sure I always had enough firepower on the fast end of the spectrum, late game win conditions, and knowing that I could put myself in the right position to capitalize on those things, to where I was able to put myself in, a position where I win far more often than not, just like last game. So here we are, pretty much anytime I use this team, especially when I'm not facing a Breloom, I lead with Rotom. So, you know the drill, I lead Rotom, and right off the bat, if he gives me a Wisp turn 1, even if he goes for Spikes, or he goes for Rocks, or he goes for Knock, that is always a trade I'm willing to take. All of a sudden, that makes the team softer against Latios and Garchomp, and that's a worthwhile trade. I get the and I'm fine. If he has a spike or a knockoff all game, that is okay with me as long as I get this Wisp off here. Trade I'm always willing to accept. So not only do I get that off, I get a crit with the Volt Switch there. It's cool. I get my own Ferrothorn in, and since he has no spinner as well, I am totally fine with this trade. I don't even need to knock him off because I have rocks and spikes in my Ferro, so getting hazards up is more important. He's taking damage every turn anyway, so I'm in the clear. He gets all 3 layers of spikes up, but I have rocks and spikes up myself, and he's taking damage. So the way I see it is the field is virtually equal here. It might even favor me as he has 2 spike immune Pokemon, and I have 3 spike immune Pokemon, and he has 3 layers of spike up, so that's good for me. But his Ferrothorn being weakened, it can only switch into Latios once now, and it's basically fodder, so I'm in the clear at this point. He goes Heatran, and I can't recall if I predict this and go for knock or not. I think I do, knowing that he's going to switch out there. He's not going to waste his turn going for knock and leave his Ferrothorn any lower. Yeah, so I get that off. I don't need another layer of spikes up at this point. It's pretty greedy. And now I go to my aforementioned Latios. He goes Lava Plume, which is fine with me. And now he protects here as I simply go for a Surf. It's a very easy play for me at this point. He goes Latios here. And at this point, I'm fine just going for Surf into it. It does 26. And I'm okay just letting go of the Ferrothorn's health. He actually goes for Draco, and he crits. And it's funny because not only does he get a crit, but he gets a crit max damage. There is only a 2 or 3 in 16th chance of this critically killing my Ferrothorn, which is funny because I'm plus physical defense in this team, but I still have a fuck ton of special defense. It's like 200 or 208 special defense CVs or something like that. I think so. I've got a lot of black-white teams, but it's in that range is the point. So, yeah, that's a little unfortunate, but I'm like, okay, that's not ideal, because I would have loved to, get another layer of spikes up or get another knockoff off or bait the Heatran in or whatever. But also, it would have required a little bit of outplaying for me to do anything with that Ferrothorn beyond just fodder it off Latios the next time it came in. And this lets me just get my Tyranitar to trap it, so that's fine. I go to my Tyranitar here and I'm just like, okay, Pursuit plus Sand is a very favorable roll for me. And also, -2 Draco is doing about 23 to 27. And -4 Draco is going to be doing even less than 20. So I'm okay with this always. And he Dracos and he crits again. So I'm like, oh damn. Oh damn, oh damn, oh damn. So this is not good for me. This is very bad. This was kind of like the lose condition. Like, I still feel like I was in a favorable position if I lost the Ferrothorn and the crit, as long as I got the Pursuit Trap there. But now I'm down 2 Pokemon, and while the Ferrothorn's basically dead, that's still down a Pokemon. Because, like, you could say, okay, Ferrothorn's basically dead, so I'm down, like, if it's 5-5, it's even, because his Latios was one of the bigger threats to my team. But now it's like, I'm actually down. So this is bad. I bring in Landorus-T, and I'm like, okay, I gotta start playing games here. He goes to his Ferrothorn here. I go for Hidden Power Ice, trying to catch his Landorus-T. But now, unfortunately, he's not in range of 2 kill from Hidden Power Ice. But what I can do here is, he goes Keldeo, and I go for Hidden Power Ice again. And I really wish I clicked the Superpower there, because I wanted to try but I didn't think he'd preserve the Ferrothorn. I thought he'd just let it go because it died to hazards. Superpower was the play there, but it just wasn't worth revealing my set because he could have still thought I was Scarf Landorus-T. So what I do here is I'm like, okay, he still has to think of Scarf Landorus-T. He's going to predict the switch, predict the Rotom-Wash, or predict the Latios, and knowing that he can't kill it, either double switch out or predict the Rotom-Wash, go for the Sacred Sword. And Hidden Power Ice wouldn't be a play because that would do nothing to Rotom-Wash. So I knew I could stay in here and reliably go for the Superpower and get the kill that I didn't last turn. Now, it would have been nice not to take that risk and take the extra 27% damage, but outplaying him on that turn, getting that prediction correct, was one way for me to get back into the game. I still feel like I'm a little bit behind here, though. So he goes Latios, and sure enough, after all of the Dracos go his way with the crits, this one misses. Now, admittedly, I'm not sure if he had Dragon Pulse, that was obviously the play, but I've got to assume that he's Trick plus Recover on his team, but I still think Surf would have been a fine play, if only because if I go Rotom-Wash and I take a Surf, then I'm also gonna basically be taking damage that's permanent because you can just fodder off the Ferrothorn at me any time. And there's no way I go Rotom-Wash on an obvious Draco or Dragon Pulse otherwise, especially when I don't know his set. So I feel like that wasn't worth risking on his end, but I don't know his set, / maybe he felt differently, so that's fine. Either way, it's a 5% chance, and thankfully, after he crit me twice, keeping his Latios alive, I got a little break there, so this is just an absolutely crazy game. Hidden Power Ice doesn't even take him out, though. So he actually does get the kill here and trade with me. So I still feel like I'm a little bit behind, but ultimately, I know from this point that this is a Specs Latios. This was Lefty's Keldeo. Therefore, this has to be a Scarf Landorus-T. So Scarf Landorus-T, after taking a couple rounds of Stealth Rock, could be in Garchomp Draco range. So, sorry, Garchomp Outrage range. So that coupled with the fact that Ferrothorn's dead, Heatran is going to be at below half after Spikes with no leftovers recovered, even if he's Protect. And Tyranitar, while it's at near full health. It's going to be taking 25-pound entry, and I don't think it's an ice move on this team. I actually feel like I have a possible chance at winning with Garchomp here if I play the endgame right. So he goes Landorus-T. I know I have to go Rotom-Wash here because it beats everything at this point. And I know U-turn is his way of winning the game, but I didn't want to risk going Garchomp and letting myself take more damage. I'm fine with him just getting that fire off there to leverage his momentum a little bit. I went for Hidden Power Ice there. I'm not actually Hydro Pump on this team, which is a little annoying in this scenario because he's got Heatran, but he doesn't know that, I guess. So I go for the Wisp here. Thankfully, I still outrun the Tyranitar despite running minus speed I've used on this to outslow Heatran and get a slower Volt Switch, which didn't come into play here, I believe. Either way, I just go for the Volt Switch here. He actually doesn't go for a Ice Beam or Pursuit here, which was something I was a little worried about. He just goes for Crunch again, which is smart. I get the Garchomp in, knowing full well they'll live and not Ice Beam. Even Ice Punch would live, although they don't really run that. I go to Dual Chop off. The key here was I needed to hit that Dual Chop, and then I won the game for sure. And thankfully it landed, and now I should be able to put him in a position where, unless he gets crits with the Landorus-T, then I should be in good shape. He goes Heatran. I go Latios here, knowing full well that he probably isn't in bar ice. He actually calls that and doubles Landorus-T, which is a really good play on his end, trying to, make something of nothing. I go to my Rotom-Wash here, and I'm like, okay, I'm fine fighting this U-turn. If I get a free Volt Switch off or a free U-turn off here, that's chill with me too. But ultimately, this is now an outrage range, so just chill with me. I try and go for Pain Split here just to try and keep this alive, I guess. Pico's Lava Plume, and I'm like, okay, this is actually fine with me. I can go to Latios here, click Surf, and therefore, he can't get the Intimidate off on my Garchomp. So I Surf here. If he goes Landorus-T, obviously dives, he's got to let this go. And then U-turn kills the Latios, and U-turn kills the Garchomp. But he intimidates the Latios, so therefore, he'll be at 63-ish% after Stealth Rock, and on top of that, he isn't able to get Intimidate off. So Outrage always kills him because of this, unless he's a very, very defensive Landorus-T. So now I know I'm able to win the game. So despite all of the drama before, we are in the clear. I was able to get a 2-0 win against Behe, who actually went for punishment, which is funny, but I think U-turn was just as good. But yeah, it doesn't matter. Game was over anyway. So yeah, able to prevail, 2-0. Close game there. Really had me on the edge of my seat, to say the least. So that was fun. Next up, I'm against Ariel, someone I've played in numerous circuit tournaments throughout the entirety of this year. It's great getting the paired against him again. I was actually using a different Rain team. I wanted to lead off with the Rain team again because I wanted to feel out what he was using. I was less familiar with his style here, so yeah, I'm just going to pause for 1 second, and then we're going to get right back in. Let's just got to get some water, so yeah. Okay, should be back. You guys hear me? All right, good. So this game, I was against Ariel for round 2. So Ariel is someone who mainly plays in current generation. He actually did pretty well in the official ladder tournament, but I knew his black-white prowess was nothing to really be underestimating. We played in the finals of what I believe was either the summer. I think we played in finals of the summer championship tournament for the circuit, and it was I won through the winners bracket, so I think I beat him in the winners bracket, and then we played again in the grand finals. He had to beat me twice. He actually beat me in the first set. He got pretty lucky, but he beat me, and he's a really good player. He made some really aggressive, interesting moves for someone who doesn't main black-white. His ability to take risks in situations that are seemingly novel to him was something that really impressed me, so I knew I could not take him for granted. Ultimately, I was able to beat him in our second set. It was I lost 1-2, I got a little unlucky, and then I won 2-1. I actually played that set on phone. It was a crazy day. Oh, man. That was a fun time, but yeah, thankfully I was able to beat him earlier in the year, so I felt like I had some advantage. I felt like I knew him enough as a player, but game 1 proved very difficult for me. He used this team that it stacked up threats. See, in black-white on these type of teams, you really kind of need one more pivot, in my opinion, but he knew that I had a specific style, so he was able to forego that and focus more on just pummeling me offensively with, Breloom, Reuniclus, Latios, Landorus-T, Magnezone for trapping. It was just a really nice, offensively synergistic team, and I gotta say, props to him. I brought what I call the good 6, the good Mons, standard, offensive rain team. Something I've been using all the way since SPL with just different sets. There are a dozen different configurations of this team. Scarf Keld, Specs Keld, Pyapa Berry Keld, Leftovers Keld, Lumberry Keld, Grass Gem Keld, Water Gem Keld, Fighting Gem Keld. We got Ice Gem Thundurus, Leftovers with Thundurus with Agility, with Protect, with Substitute. We got Scarf Latios, Specs Latios, Dragon Gem Latios. We even have a team with Offensive Politoed and Defensive Politoed. Yeah, it's different configurations of it. The point is. But right off the bat, I'm looking at this and wow. Latios plus for your Nicholas with Magnezone is a big threat. The right Breloom set could be a big threat. I gotta play my cards really well here, and in game 1 of this set, he leads Latios. I lead Thundurus team okay, good lead on his end. I protect because I'm scouting him out. Same thing as the last game, and he goes Draco, and I've got to go Ferrothorn in that every single time. And it turns out he's not Balloon for whatever reason. They all run Balloon and Black White. But either way, Hidden Power Fire still Tokyo's me. So yeah, same thing as normal. I get Rocks up, but that's it. So now I bring back my Thundurus-T here. He turns out to be Scarf, which... Okay, so here's my issue with Scarf Magnezone and Black White. Let's say I get my my Politoed in, right? And then he goes to Magnezone. He's doing, now instead of 63% with Hidden Power Fire, he's doing 31 or 32%. That means that let's say he switches in on Ferrothorn, I still get rocked and 2 or 3 layers of spikes. And he has no spinner. And he has 3 Pokemon taking spikes, so yeah, it removes it, but does it really beat it? Like, that's my little Finch nitpick rant. But that aside, this being Scarf means he's probably not Scarf Latios to me. So that means that without the Ferrothorn, taking Specs Dracos is a big problem. So that makes his matchup even better, which is a really great call by him. I love the calculated risk. Anyway, he's just letting go of the Magnezone now. It's pretty useless. And I miss a Focus Blast, unfortunate. I think I connect on the next one. Yeah, take it out. So, okay, that's great. But he can go right back to the Latios and like, what the fuck do I do? You see the predicament here? I can go for Protect all I want, right? But Draco is killing everything besides Politoed and Tentacruel from full health. So I go to the Politoed. It takes like 90. Yeah, 90 is about average roll. I've got some special defense to always live that from full. And now here, I double the Tentacruel, knowing he's probably going to either go for this or go back to something like Tyranitar. So he misses. That's cool. Would have done like 35. He goes talking. I'm like, okay, please give me a burn. I really need this burn to have a chance here. I get the burn. So that's like, okay, cool. I'm surprised he didn't go Nicholas, truth be told, but that's good for me. I go Politoed here. I'm like, okay, I should live Crunch. He doubles to Nicholas. That's cool with me. I get free leftovers, but also this Nicholas is a major problem for me. I go Latios here. He goes Psychic. That does 32. That's a lot of damage. I'm like, oh, damn. Eats offensive Trick Room. So he goes Tar, trying to fight this off. I hit Draco, which is cool with me. Draco taking that out is nice. So I feel like I might have an okay chance now. I'm up a Pokemon and I get my Rain up. So I go Politoed here. In hindsight, I should have Draco'd again. He went Trick Room. I'm like, okay, this is going to take apart my team now. I go Protect here. Psychic there is a good play by him. Really the only play he has to make. I go Latios here, and he Psychics again. This is 35. I'm like, yeah, this is so strong. Jeez. I go Tentacruel now, like, okay, maybe I live this. I do not live this. It was a roll, but it favored him pretty strongly. So, yeah, now I go Politoed here. He goes Balloon, predicting the Protect, which is a great play. And I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty far behind now. I got to find a way to one-shot that Nicholas, and I'm running out of those ways pretty quickly. So, that insult to injury. Turns out he's a very offensive Breloom. And he also has, he's Choice Band, but he gets 2 hits there. So I'm like, okay, chance. I needed that. I kill with Hidden Power Rise crit, which didn't matter. I'm modest, so always taking out an offensive Breloom there. He goes back to Latios, so I'm like, wait, another Pokemon I have no checks to anymore because my Ferrothorn is dead. So yeah, it's Psyshock, which is a bit weird. I don't see a reason to run Psyshock over Dragon Pulse, with Blissey and Chansey being non-existent this generation, really. But either way, I go Latios. I'm like, I gotta win this tie to begin with. I think I'm Scarf here. Yeah, I'm Scarf. Okay, so I get the Landorus-T, and I'm like, okay, I gotta crit the Nicholas to have a chance here, or get a million protects. And I Draco, and I miss, and he goes Trick. I'm like, that is completely fair. I needed the crit to win anyway, so yeah. He Psychics, takes me out, and like, yeah, that's pretty much a good game. I can probably try and protect a million times, but as you see, it's a roll, kills there, and it kills there regardless. So yeah, that's a good game. Really well played by Surreal there. He got the better end of me there, so good team choice there, I'd say. Anyway. So I'm down 0-1. I'm like, oh shit, I can't lose, because I actually won the last 2 years of the Black and White Championship. I am the 2-time, they've only existed for 2 years before, and I won both. I can't lose. I gotta win both these next 2 games for sure, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna bring that same team from last round, actually, but with some different stats, I think. I think it was the same one, actually, because I felt dependable with it. He actually used the team I've used before. I'm not sure if I made it first or Saul made it first. I feel like we both made it kind of independently, but when I used it, it was Scarf Landorus-T, the Protect, Offensive Sandforce Drill, Rock Gem, Swordsdance, Strachion, Tropical Bear Tyranitar, Wisp, Rotom-Wash, and Physically Defensive Amoonguss. So we'll wait and see. Either way, right off the bat, I'm like, okay, this matchup's not bad. I just need to get burned early game. I'm quicker Rotom W, though. And that's bad for me, but he misses the Wisp. That's good for me. Because you want to be slower, because you can get the slower Voltage off after you exchange Wisps. But him missing Wisp suddenly puts it in my favor anyway. So here, I want to go Tyranitar here, mainly because I'm fine taking the Wisp. I can't let the Ferrothorn take the Wisp. This is a huge trap play. If I go Ferrothorn on the Wisp, then Drill can spin on Ferrothorn all day because I can't do damage to it. So I gotta go Tar here. Tar is pretty useless in this game because there's no Latios to trap. There's no Alakazam to check. No Reuniclus. So I'm fine letting Tar take that. That's okay. I want to get Sand up. I want to start chipping shit. And I want to let his Tracheon, Landorus-T, extra start taking damage. He goes Pain Split here. That is totally okay with me. I get Rocks up. That's fine. I actually have 2 Rockers on this team, I believe. So that forces Drill to go for Spin, which is nice. Or it forces damage. He goes for Volt Switch here. I know he has to go for Volt Switch Hard Pump, so I can get my Rotom-Wash back in and just start this whole loop back over again, which is good for me. Now here, I don't want to risk taking a Stun Spore, so I go for the Volt Switch here. And I get Ferrothorn in, and he goes Giga Drain, and it's great. I was hoping he would go for Stun Spore so he couldn't burn me with Rotom-Wash later, but that's fine with me all the same. Now he goes straight into Drill, which it makes no sense that he goes straight into Drill because at this point, Power Whip to kills him, and Earthquakes are rolled to kill me, but I also have Landorus in the background, and I can switch out, and I can potentially go for a Knock or a Whip, and then switch out, and all of a sudden, he's taking so much damage. Like, that's never, ever the play with this team. His play always should be to, not ever let Amoonguss, like, stay in against Ferrothorn, and B, he'd probably go Landorus-T and get a knockoff, or Earthquake, depending on the set, Superpower. You know, they always run Earthquake, Hidden Power Ice, and either Superpower and Knockoff and U-Turn. Knockoff with Drill is really good because you get Skarmory's Rocky Helmet off, but maybe he was running Stone Edge Landorus-T and he miscopied the team. That's really the only explanation I could think of. So yeah, but anyway, he goes to Earthquake there. I go Power Up and miss. I'm like, that is highly unfortunate. He goes Spin here into me, which is like, okay, that's even dumber because, well, it's just not a play. And I miss again. I'm like, I would really like it if this set stopped doing things this set is doing. I'm like, this sequence is just always losing the game, and you just got veiled. That's kind of unfortunate. He goes Earthquake again. I go Landorus, like, okay, I gotta make some, like, bluff god plays here. So he goes Protect here. I go for the Hidden Power Ice, and now I gotta go for that Fight Gem, I think. I gotta go for the Fight Gem Superpower, right? Yeah, I go for the Fight Gem Superpower. I claim the Rotom-Wash, so I'm glad he didn't scout the team out and know I'd go for that there. That's good. Now he goes Tracheon. I'm like, okay, I got to go Chomp on the Swords Dance or Stone Edge. I go Chomp on the Stone Edge. I know it's that set. Now here, I know he can be Protect. So he predicts me to, I guess, predict him to be Protect. No, he predicts me not to predict him to be Protect and scouted his move. And he stays in predicting a double switch because I Earthquake and Landorus-T and I fall behind. But like, my version of this team has Protect on Tracheon over Substitute. Maybe he was running Substitute. Again, I don't know, but either way, that worked out a ton of well for me because I get the kill there. And I'm like, okay, well, that's fine with me anyway. He goes Landorus-T now. I go Tyranitar. I'm fine letting this go at this point. U-turn doesn't even put me in burn range, so I can actually save this for later. He goes to his Tar too, not to Drill, so I actually get Rocks up here because mine has some speedy Vs in this team, so that's fine. We exchange Rocks. That's totally chill with me. I go Rotom-Wash here now. I could get a Wisp off if I'm able to hit. I am able to hit, so I'm like, oh, thank God. Yeah, now I'm in the driver's seat pretty much. I can go for the Volt Switch here, but he goes to Drill, which I'm not sure I understand. Oh, I went for Hidden Power Ice there because I thought he would probably be going for a potential double switch into Volt Switch to try and get damage off on me. Yeah, and I thought he might go Landorus, but it works on Drill too. I get Hidden Power Ice off there, and now I feel like I'm in the driver's seat here. He goes for Protecting and Leftovers, and I go Wisp, like that's totally fine with me. If he goes back to Amoonguss, he might gain Regenerator, but he takes Rocks, he takes Sand and gain Leftovers, and he takes Burn. So all of a sudden, after Volt Switch, he's actually not even gaining any damage, he's losing damage, so that, plus the fact that he lost Hidden Power Ice damage, plus Rocks damage and the Drill minus 2 lefties, puts me in a really good spot. So basically, I gained ground there. I go Ferrothorn in this, and it should be Hidden Power Ice if he's kept the team the same. And you need that for things like Landorus-T and Garchomp. But yeah, no, that worked really nicely for me. He goes this here, and now he goes to Landorus-T, and I think I could either knock it. I think I knock it off. I go for the Whip. That works too. A nice 26%. Now I go Rotom-Wash. I'm fine if he U-turns. I don't mind taking the damage. He does 27%. He goes Amoonguss here. And now at this point, I think I just want to make sure I clinch it being low, but I don't remember if I Volt Switch or Hidden Power Ice. Oh, I Pain Split. I actually don't agree with that play, because if he Giga Drains, he gains a lot of health. Yeah. Okay, only 14%. I guess that's fine, too. I'm kind of backseat, like armchairing myself here. But yeah, this is fine with me. Now I go for the Volt Switch. Right, okay. I get the Ferrothorn. I just didn't want to Volt Switch into a ground type. I want to be sure. So yeah, and every turn the Amoonguss stays in was taking so much in residual damage between the burn and the Sand getting leftovers and whatever damage he takes. So yeah, He feels Hidden Power Ice there, and I'm like, yeah, okay. I whip there, and I think that puts him at like 1%, yup. And then I think here I just go for a Spike just for the safety of it, yup. Okay, and now the game's pretty much over. He can go Drill and take me out with Earthquake if he wants. I go Landorus-T. He Iron Heads predicting that, which is a good play. I Superpower, though, knowing it'll hit everything besides his own Landorus, but also after Rocks, that Superpower is going to put him in like Outrage range, so the game's pretty much over with Garchomp at this point. I Superpower, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? If he doesn't kill me, I can just Superpower again, and yeah, so he goes back to Drill, and the game ends there. He says, good game, and now we're on to game 3. I played that end game really well. I'm so glad I didn't tilt off the face of the earth after the initial mishap. So yeah, now we have game 3, and I'm using the team he used from last game, but with Life Orb Garchomp over Dragon. This is the team I probably use the most in circuit tournaments this year. It's kind of my bread and butter. It's a really good variant of kind of sand, bulky offense. Triple ground is super threatening. It's hard to deal with. Life Orb Garchomp's great. Drill is obviously very threatening. Landorus-T's good, but this game is one of the games where I didn't bring 2 fast Pokemon, i.e. Latios plus Alakazam, or Latios plus Scarf Garchomp. So I only have 1 fast Pokemon in Scarf Landorus-T, and I'm facing a Quiver Dance Volk, I'm facing a Dragon Dance Dragonite, and I'm like, oh damn, this is like the least ideal matchup for that. But all of my teams are kind of cheese-proof in a sense. I have outs. For example, the Tyranitar is very specially defensive. The Landorus-T has some bulk, so it can pinch level +1 Fiery Dance. The Rotom-Wash here is Hydro, not Hidden Power Ice, so it can hit Volk. Against Scizor, the Chomp is able to live even a +2 Life Orb, Bullet Punch, and Fire Blast away. You know, Amoonguss is pretty well against the Breloom and the Dragonite and the Garchomp with Hidden Power Ice and whatnot. So yeah, I know I've got out. I got to get rocks up here. I always lead Landorus-T against this team. He leads Breloom. I'm fine U-turning and getting in my Amoonguss. I know for a fact he keeps it in check, and it's going to force a Stun Spore or something onto him. He goes Bullet Seed. It hits twice. It hits thrice. It hits 4 times. I don't know if twice. And then he gets a crit on the 5th. I'm like, okay, damn, chill. I'm fine with that, though. He goes Chomp here, and I think I just go for the double Landorus-T like I always do, yup. And now I'm okay just going for Earthquake. It threatens everything in his team. 49, I'm like, okay, but the second roll favors me. But he goes Garchomp here on a second Earthquake. I'm like, okay, I'm actually behind now because he called that. I go Tyranitar here, and he goes back to Breloom. Now, this is good and bad for me. It's bad because Breloom beats Tyranitar, but it's good because he didn't set up with Dragonite, so I'm like in the clear for now, but I get Sand up at least to threaten him, which is good for me. He goes for Bullet Seed, and again, he gets 4 hits and then the 5th crits. I'm like, okay, damn, chill out, my guy. He goes Bullet Seed again, though, and I'm not really sure I get the second Bullet Seed there. He does hit 4 times, by the way, again, and I missed Stun, so I'm like, okay, this might just be the end of the run. After all, he goes Bullet Seed again. He's just Bullet Seeding, but I get Hidden Power Ice off. Bullet Seed brought my Amoonguss down, by the way, from full health all the way to low. But that's fine. I get Hidden Power Ice on it, so it's good. And I just want to get a Stun Spore off on this if I can. Because that would make it slower than Rotom-Wash, because it might be quicker than it right now. I'm fine not burning it if it's slower than everything. But yeah, he just pursues me. So he's running Pursuit Life Orb, which is a very uncommon variant, but that means that he definitely can't threaten Garchomp. So what I do here is I go for the Stealth Rock, knowing that if Stealth Rock stays up, Volcarona and Dragonite can't sweep. That's the key. And now he goes Starmie. I'm like, okay, I don't think he's going to Ice Beam here. So I probably just got to kill him on the spin and then get rocks up later. And I'm able to do just that. I get the Earthquake off on the spin, and I still have Garchomp in, which threatens everything. And he goes Garchomp of his own. I'm like, okay. I go Drill, figuring he's going to go for the Dragon move. And he goes Outrage, and that's great for me, because now I can pose a threat to his entire team with this Drill at least. So I'm able to take this out with Earthquake, and I don't die to Iron Barbs or anything like that. So now I'm in a 5-3 position. He goes Scizor. I'm like, okay, if he wants to come with Bullet Punch, that's actually totally fine with me. Yeah, now I go Garchomp, and I can get those rocks up to threaten last 2. And also, he can't sweep from this point. Obviously, crits Landorus-T. So he goes for the Bullet Punch, predicting me to kill him. But I get the rocks up, and I'm like, yup, I'm in the clear now. The game's over, and I just can't get hacked. I go to Rotom-Wash on the follow-up Bullet Punch. I'm like, yup, I'm playing it safe. Might as well preserve it. He's just... I think he noticed that he kind of lost momentum and screwed up a little bit here. Superpower doesn't kill me here. I Volt Switch here, and I don't even think it kills. It actually does kill. That's probably max damage then, but good with me. I go Thundurus knowing I can threaten both these remaining Pokemon. He goes Volcarona. It takes 50%, and I'm like, yeah, Crunch always kills here. I'm adamant, so that's good for me. Take that out. I get burned, but little does he know, this was all front to lure him into pure safety. I've got Ice Beam in the back, and I'm able to beat Therian in what was an amazingly close set. Super well played game by Therian. this guy's the real deal. He's a great player. Definitely would watch some of his games. You're trying to learn. Guy knows how to play every tier. Black-White is far from his main tier, but he's able to pull a 3-game set against I'm probably one of the best players. So yeah, so good games, man. Oh boy, this is a marathon. All right, next up, I'm against Rokan. I don't know how to pronounce it, but this guy's good too. All these guys are good. I just put him in the final four. Like, these guys are like 4 of the better Black-White players of the year. This man knows what's up. So the thing with Rokan is, I didn't really know him too well going this year. We played a bunch of tours this year, and every time he gives me a real good game, real good set. So I'm pumped for this. I wanted to bring this team out reliable in game 1. I tend to bring it to closeout sets, but here I knew I could count on it. So yeah, I think it was game 2. I decided to bring the rain in this set, and then game 3, yeah, it goes to 3. Spoiler alert. I had to bring a little more reliable of a balanced team. The scout on him was kind of more spread out. He used some funky setups, so I wasn't entirely sure what to expect, but hey, I'll take it as I can. So yeah, I'm against Rokan here. Simple. I just always lead Rotom-Wash. I want to get that burn off because, again, as I said before, if you burn Ferrothorn against a team with Drill, Drill's always going to spin on it. So all of a sudden, the Ferrothorn's just useless. So I get the burn off, and I'm like, yep, he's Thunder with me. That's fine with me. He can't burn me now. I mean, I guess he doesn't have burn on his team, but yeah, no. I just go hard Drill. I'm like, yep, that's fine with me. You burn the Ferrothorn. You burn the Ferrothorn. You burn the Ferrothorn. You're in the clear. He goes Landorus-T. I don't know if I predict that with Iron Dart or not. I do actually do that. I get 31% chip off, which is cool, but he's leftover, so it's less effective. I go back to Rotom-Wash here. I'm like, yep, that's fine with me. I think I just Volt Switch. I might Wisp. I don't remember. I think, yeah, I Volt Switched here. He goes Ferrothorn. I'm like, oh, damn. That is unfortunate. Now, I go hard Drill. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. He's not going to double back Landorus-T on that. So he gets spikes up. I'm like, I can spin off this all game. That's fine with me. It really is. So I get the spin off there. That's great. He gets leftovers. I'm fine with him keeping rocks up so long as he doesn't keep spikes up as well. So yeah, this is a good sequence for me. He notices he's kind of stuck in this vortex. He goes Transfer here, and I think I call it, and I go for the Volt Switch here. I kind of wish I went for the Wisp, but I was glad I called him switching Landorus-T because A, it was kind of obvious, and B, this lures him into a false insecurity. He thinks I'm going to spin again, and he can kill me with a superpower or an Earthquake here. So I go for the Iron here, take him out. I'm like, yup, let's go. That's perfect. He goes Track Gun now. I go Landorus-T. I think he's got to go for the close combat, but I'm not sure. He goes for it. He reveals 21% damage, so I don't think he's choice banned. I know he's not. He's probably Rock Gem, so I go Amoonguss here. Like, okay, if he protects, that's fine. And he goes Landorus-T. I'm like, okay, that's a good mid round for me because he's only thing to take advantage of is Ferrothorn or risking Paralysis and Rear Nicholas, and I'm okay with either option here. So he goes U-turn. Injury Nicholas. Do I Stun Spore? Yeah, Stun Spore predicting that. So I'm looking pretty good now. I feel like I've got all the conditions I want to win this game. I go for Power Ice here, predicting him to predict the Driller Tar. He actually predicts the Driller Tar, but he stays and he goes for Focus Blast. So it's kind of like a swing and a miss on both ends. We both do like 15% to each other. It's like, that was a funny turn right there. That reveals he was leftovers, not Light Orb though. I go Giga Drain this time, predicting the same thing. Like, okay. He goes Calm Mind, so I'm like, okay. Interesting. Here I go Garchomp, knowing he's not going to hit in Power Ice, so he Focus Blast, and it hits through Power, so I'm like, okay, my man just broke Math, but that's fine with me, because I get Rocks up, and suddenly Math is favoring me this time around, so that's good. I get the Earthquake off here for 43, and he gets powered again, so I'm like, yeah, okay, now suddenly it's favoring me a little bit more, and then I go Tar here, knowing I could live even a +1 Focus Blast with Chopple Berry, and he's got to go Recover, so yeah, I get the Tar in here. He goes Track Gun on the Crunch. I'm like, damn, son, good play. Good play. All right. So now I'm like, okay, I didn't expect that to happen. So I got to let go of the Chomp here because it's weakened. It's useless at this point. So he goes Close Combat. At least I get some rough skin in it. That's cool. Yep. Okay. So now I have to go Landorus-T, and I got to lock in the Earthquake here probably. So, at least let's go with Ferrothorn here, which is good for me. I want Fade and Power Ice. Wow, I'm ballsy. If that was Protect, I would have lost. I think the play there was actually Earthquake. Well, whatever, that's fine. He does like to track him, but I figured that's possible, so I go Amoonguss here. Like, at least I could take advantage of it. He does like Giga Drain and Sand, though, but I guess he didn't think of that or he didn't want to risk it or whatever, so he goes back to her Nicholas. I'm like, okay. He's starting to get away with these sequences that I really shouldn't be. I got to take advantage of these with double switches. I see what he's trying to do, so I go Drill here, and I live even a Focus Blast from this range. He goes Calm Mind, though, so I'm like, okay. At this point, the chance of flinch plus Power Up plus Miss, it's very favorable for me. And I get a crit on top of that and a flinch, so I'm like, okay, cool. I mean, the crit was a roll, but yeah, I mean, I can't really be too sorry for that. The Ed Ensel's injury, he's in, I Rapid Spin here as he goes Ferrothorn. For some reason, he preserved the weakened Reuniclus. But yeah, I get the spin off as well, so the rocks are gone. And now the game suddenly favors me a ton. I mean, okay, so it's a 30% chance to miss, a 25% chance to full para, a 30% chance to flinch. Like, if you combine those odds, it does favor me. So we'll take it. Especially the crit. So why the hell not? Because even if I didn't crit, it would have put him in Earthquake range. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Anyway, he's U-turns there. I know that he's not going to Earthquake. It kind of seemed obvious to me, but also it's just like, why not? Now I get the spin off, and now he's got a close combat, but he actually subbed. Good play. And now I got to trade this Amoonguss for this if he hits. But I actually go drill on that because I'm a pussy. Let go to drill. And now here, Landorus-T can just claim this with Earthquake, I believe. Yup, and that it does. And it looks like I'm going to walk away with the first game of this set. Yup, he goes Latios here. He goes back to Reuniclus here. And I go Rotom-Wash, knowing full well it's the least useful Pokemon. Even if he recovers here as I fall Para, that's fine with me, as I can go Tyranitar. But apparently he sees it differently. He wants to get leftovers. He goes Landorus-T. I'm like, okay, that's cool with me. He gets dropped up as I try to Hydro, but again, no big deal. I feel like I've got the game won at this point unless crazy shit happens. So thankfully crazy shit didn't happen. I Hydro into the Latios. It's fine with me, really. I feel like I'm in control here. Like, this Rotom-Wash isn't very good. So he goes for a trick, and I think here I go Volt. Or no, I go Hydro again. I think Volt was better, but probably got cheeky predicting Lando. Either way, now I'm locked into it, so he could just spam Recover. That's fine with me. Here I go Ty, knowing he's just going to spam Recover again. And I live 2 Surfs for Draco into Draco. So yeah, and now I can just, I crunch here, safe play. He goes Landorus-T. It actually doesn't take it out, it's so bulky, so yeah. And I'm just like, okay, don't crit, and I'm good. So I don't crit, and it's good. Sludge Bomb kills that. And I can fire this, and even if he crit this, I could win with Landorus-T's U-turn. So yeah, it felt pretty good. Alright, good game. It's able to win there. I'm up 1-0 in the semifinal set. This is a long video. Alright, now we got a Rain Mirror. He's got a Scizor, though. I kind of set myself up really nicely in this game, though. I'm Ice Gem Thundurus-T, which means I kill his Thundurus, and with Focus Blast, I can 2-kill Ferrothorn, and Thunder nukes everything else. So my matchup here feels so good. I'm even Toxic Keldeo to try and lure his Keldeo or his Politoed, and also not be choice to not be like dead weight in the wrong form. So I'm set up for this matchup. I knew his range structures, and I knew I'd take advantage of them. So I just need to either not get crit turn 1 or not lose tie turn 1, and he is quicker and gets a crit when I'm Ice Gem, and it's like, wow. That is bad. That is so bad, because Ice Gem Modest in Power Ice was always killing that ass. So in conclusion, wow. So I'm like, okay, I think I might lose this one. Yeah, that was just awesome. Like, I'm tilting off the face of the earth now. I gotta bluff Specs Keldeo, double the Ferrothorn into Politoed. I gotta make up ground. At least I made that turn right. He Scalds, though, and to add insult to injury, while I get rocks up there, if he's Encore, it's like, it's not even a big gain for me. But thankfully he's not Encore. He goes Ferrothorn as I whip, but like, I'm like, damn, I want to go Thundurus in this, but I don't have Thundurus, so yeah, it's pretty rough. I knocked that off, which is cool. He knocks me off, it's cool for him. I get Spikes up, he gets rocks up. I go Polito trying to Encore it, I Encore it, which is good for me. And now here, onto this turn, he probably switches. I think he goes Tenta, right? And I just want to Scald Burn, because if I Scald Burn this, I could go into my own Ferrothorn and just start spiking up, keeping up spikes for the rest of the game. But I don't get a burn there, and then he spins to get ahead, and I don't get a burn here. So I'm like, yeah, this game is just not my game. And to add insult to injury once more, he Scalds, and he crits, and I don't burn again, right? Yeah. Now I think he burns on this turn, and I don't burn again. I'm like, yeah, this is over this crap. I had an ideal setup for this game, and it wasn't working. But I'm trying my hardest here, because this is like a tournament. You don't just give up when you're down like a Pokemon or two, because fuck that, this isn't ladder. So he Scalds again, and yeah, this time he gets the burn, and I don't get the burn, I think. And he goes Thundurus-T as I refresh, right. And now I go Latios, and to make it even worse, now he gets to Para with fucking Thunder, and like, yeah, this is not it. I go Keldeo and hit Power Ice, and now here, I get that right, okay. And I reveal to be leftovers Keldeo, so he could have stayed in before, but you didn't know that. I Surf kill him, because for some reason he let this go, and it literally got a kill every time he came in. He let it go. And now he goes Keldeo, and I win. The one thing I hate this game, I win the speed tie, I go for the Toxic, and he fucking goes Sacred Sword, and I miss. I'm like, okay, please hit the Toxic, but I missed the Toxic, so that's rough. And now he, since I didn't get any damage off on him, he even gets a crit Sacred Sword here. And now he also wins the game with Sub-Command Keldeo, and Toxic plus Protect would have just stalled it out. So it's funny, because if I hit the Toxic there, Tentacruel gets a spin-off and 1v1s him. And I'm like one Scald Burn away on Ferrothorn with either this or the Politoed from just winning the game, despite all the madness. So a little ticked off, because after all of that, it was for nothing. But hey, I'm just gonna chalk that one up to bad luck and say, yep, that's that. So good game. The one game in these playoffs where I really felt it was completely unplayable for me, although the other game was kind of unlucky too. But it's fine. Game 3. I gotta pick a team I'm really good with here. So I'm going with this team here. It's a bit different than the other teams I bought, but I kind of figured he'd go with some more radical offensive stuff, like some more dramatically offensive stuff, and Dull Ground plus Dual Psychic. I'm like, yeah, okay. So I'm pretty well prepared for this matchup here. He's very hard time stretching into Jellicent, and I got the ability to remove those spikes once I burned the Ferrothorn. Again, a concept from before. Plus, Gliscor slows down his home momentum. I live Hidden Power Rights from Landorus-T and Alakazam with the spread, and I'm able to really check his Alakazam well with Drill being especially defensive, Latios living any hit, Ferrothorn living any hit, trying to try with Chapel Berry. So yeah, I feel like I'm in a great shape here. He leads Garchomp, I lead Jellicent, because I know Free Wisp on anything. He goes Ferrothorn too, so I'm like, okay, yes, he's giving me Ferrothorn. This game is mine. At this point, like on turn 1, when he gives me Ferrothorn to Wisp here, I know the game is won. Like, that's how confident I was. He goes knockoff on the taunt, but that's fine with me. That's really fine with me. I get a Nightshade off, so like all of a sudden, his Spiker that can't recover is at 35%. My Jellicent that can recover is at full, because I recovered here, as you see. So he goes Tar, but the Tar is slower than my fast Jellicent too, so I get a Wisp up on that. And yeah, he can go Thunder Wave, which is a cool move, by the way. Cool move turn Tar. Good set for him. But now I'm like, yeah, this is great. I can go Gliscor in this. Ice Beam doesn't even kill me. He goes Crunch. I'm like, yep, that's fine with me too. Defense drop, no big dealio. I actually live in Ice Beam from 84 usually as well. So I go Toxic, and I miss the Garchomp, and I'm like, okay, Toxic is not my move this series, but that's fine. I Toxic here, and I hit the Garchomp, so I'm like, yep, okay, I'm in the clear. Good. I go Earthquake on the Swords Dance here, and now I'm like, okay, watch this. I'm gonna protect here, right, and now he Dragon Claws, and now here, he's gonna predict the Drill or the Pharaoh to come in, knowing that he could die afterwards, so he's gonna go for the Earthquake here. So I Earthquake here, and I get him, knowing that I also, at -1 defense, would have died to the +2 Dragon Claw if it was Life Orb. If it wasn't Life Orb or Gem, then it was a roll that favored him. But I knew I would risk my Gliscor all in there, but I knew he'd go for Earthquake. He had to go for the Earthquake there. So I called that and I'm like, yep, okay. I'm in the clear, thank goodness. And I live any hit from Alakazam again, as I said before. So he doubles Landorus-T, predicting me to scout out Hidden Power Ice, but I just go Earthquake trying to break that. So I'm like, yeah, good for me. And as you see, Hidden Power Ice from Landorus-T here, it only does 53%. So yeah, I'm in the clear. I could just protect away, heal all the way up. He goes back to Alakazam, trying to see that what I'm doing. I get the Toxic and Landorus-T, so I'm like, yeah, I'm in the clear here. Now here, I go Protect again, just trying to get all the way healthy. He reveals he's Hidden Power Ice. I'm like, yeah, okay, that's good for you. I feel like he's probably going to go for a Focus Blast here, predicting the Pharaoh or the Drill or the Tar, so I go to Jellicent here. On that, I got 2 burns, and it basically killed the Pokemon, so yeah, that's all I needed out of it. He goes Tar. I get the Nightshade off here. Makes it even better for me, because now my Alakazam could kill it with Focus Blast, Chapel Berry. I go Drill here, knowing I could live a Superpower, Earthquake, or a Fire Blast. I'm especially defensive, so yeah, and he's burnt, so even better. And now I get a free spin off, and I'm feeling great at this point. Spin here, he goes Superpower. Yeah, it only does like 50. Again, as I said, it's burnt, so I'm feeling really great. That's like an offensive Tar, by the way. So I Rock Slide here just in case it goes Landorus-T. I get the kill there. 11%, so yeah. Now he goes back to Landorus-T. I go Protect here, trying to scout out what he locks into. He Earthquakes here. I'm like, yeah, that's fine with me. I should just be able to Landorus-T, I think. I took Gliscor, I think. He actually goes Hidden Power Ice there, though. I predicted him to double switch, predicting the Gliscor into one of his Psychic types, and I go Earthquake trying to catch it Alakazam. It didn't work out too well, but it was funny because he overpredicted too, so it actually did work out well. And now he goes Zam here for real, and I go Gliscor. I'm like, yeah, I live Hidden Power Ice. I from 97, I even always live it. So yeah, it does 84 again, as I said. So I Earthquake, and I bring it down to like 12%. And now since Sash is broken, he's dead to any hit. So I'm in business. Psychic can take me out here again, but I go Ferrothorn here, knowing he's probably not going to Focus Blast, and he's Psychic, so yeah, that's good with me. Two Focus Blast right after leftovers, even a roll on that Ferrothorn, which is pretty funny. I go back to Jellicent there, trying to get Focus Blast. In hindsight, I should just attack. I got a little cheeky, but no big deal. I go Gliscor here, knowing he's probably going to Earthquake, and he does. And yeah, now I feel like I got all the momentum. I'm getting every player out. I got the hot hand, you know what I mean? So I could just protect here, trying to get the leftovers. And yeah, I didn't want to die to Power Ice. So, yep, he goes Alakazam again, risking that properly. Good play by him, but again, I got such a big lead at this point. It's like it doesn't really matter. I just can't fuck around. And thankfully, I get Ferrothorn in here and Focus Blast, and he can kill me, which is fine, because now I can go Tyranitar here, and even if he gets a crit through Chapel Berry, I should be able to live it, but he misses that insult to injury, but he did crit the Ferrothorn, which meant he didn't have to hit it twice, or let alone he barely hit it once. So yeah, felt pretty good there. He goes Landorus-T, he hit Power Isis here, and I go for the Ice Beam, take it out. I'm like, yeah, okay, game's over at this point. I couldn't lose to Latios in the back at this point with all these Pokemon, so yeah. He misses Draco. Again, insult to injury, but the game's pretty much over at this point. That's also Specs damage on Draco, by the way, so Alakazam 1v1'd it because it lived the hit, and Drill lived the Draco. So yeah, it was pretty much over. He goes Pharaoh, and I just roast it with Fire Blast, and that is that. So, oh boy. I won semifinals in a tight set against Drokin. 3 games set, and now I'm in the finals for the 3rd year in a row. This time around, after 15 minutes of narrating, because I love y'all and I want to teach y'all Black White, and I'm against a Dr. Kitano 93, my guy, SPL player. This man went like 6'3" in Black White last year. He's the real deal. I would regard him as a top 5 Black White player right now. He's so good. And he's got all these techs up his sleeve. This man's an innovator, a mastermind. I love this man. I'm gonna gas him up, but I'm gonna beat his ass here. You're gonna wait and see. Oh boy, this is a sign when Finch should really wrap it up. I can't do hour-long videos. I'm no BKC. That man got stamina. I don't got the BKC stamina though. No way, no way. Anyway, so I'm in the lab building a new team left and right for this man, because I'm trying to get informed with Smogon Premier League SPL, where I'm gonna be playing Black White every week soon. You'll be seeing them games, no doubt, no doubt. But my guy, Dr. Kitano 93, I'm looking at it, seems like, you know what? It's time. He doesn't run Gyro Ball many of his Ferrothorns. And on top of that, his range teams are kind of weak to Combine plus Dragon Gem Latios. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to run some dual Lati shit. I'm going to run, it's totally like thrown up, because I always run Specs and Scarf Lati, but nah. This time around, I run Combine, Dragon Gem, Draco, Surf, and then Roost in the back with my Latios. Then I run it with a Scarf Healing Wish Latios of my own, which means my match against other range like this is pretty good, but he's got the one thing that fucks with me. He's got the fucking Mammoth-Line, and if you look, all my faster Pokemon are fucking weak to Shard, man. I got Latios weak to Shard, Latios weak to Shard, and Thundurus-T weak to Shard, but thankfully, I'm a fast-ass Tentacruel, so at least I could outrun the damn Mammoth-Line and get a Scald off, so that's cool. But yeah, I'm like, okay, gotta be in business here, gotta be smart here, so, I know my matchup's pretty decent too, because I got the Protect Thundurus, which is important, so I lead with the Protect Thundurus, and he leads Latios. I don't think people are really scouting out the Protect at this point, but evidently he knows it's coming, so he goes for the Draco. So I'm like, okay, I can go Ferrothorn, and he doubles to his own Ferrothorn and my Ferrothorn. I'm like, okay. I noticed right off the bat, we both have one Pokemon that's weak to Spikes. He has 2 Pokemon that don't, one Pokemon weak to Rocks. I mean, he has 2 Pokemon that don't take Spikes. I have 3 Pokemon, so I'm okay with this trade. This is a good trade for me, so this matchup I'm fine staying in with. We both get knockoffs again. 86%, same as before. We've seen this movie before again. Rocks, yup. I go Spikes, he goes Spikes. It's lit. We're in this. Again, in this matchup, I'm fine trading Spikes. Spike Quartz favor me. So yeah. Now he goes Tentacruel, and I don't get this play, because Kaitano is such an experienced Black-White player, but going Tentacruel on a Pharaoh outside of Rain is never the play. Never, ever, ever, ever the play. No, because if I hit a single whip here and he doesn't burn right off the bat, I just win the game. Like, you'll see what happens. I get the whip off here, suddenly he's in range, and I could just get my hazards up again. He's so weakened. So he switches out to Politoed. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I get rocks up. So now, basically, he traded 2 layers of Spikes for 75% of Tentacruel in a Rain on Rain matchup when Protect lets you, like, basically run the whole game. So that's a huge win for me. He goes Encore, then I'm like, okay, I'll make sure he goes for it. I rock. Okay, that's chill with me. Now he goes Tornadus here, and I go Latios, knowing full well that he's probably going to double that, but also Latios' health isn't a big deal. And now I think he reveals leftovers in the switch, as you can see here. So usually Tornadus-T with leftovers is Sub Protect Hurricane, either Superpower Focus Blast, a set that Dice and I kind of came up with a month ago. Takes advantage of the passive damage that you do with rain, such as like Skull Burns and Toxics or Toxic Spike Poisons and whatnot. and also can PP stall things like Gladius Draco and Landorus-T, Stone Edge, and scout things out, so it's pretty cool. But with Prankster sub protect, it's really dope. But so I feel like he's gonna sub and scout me out because he sees the leftovers and I might be scarfed. But he actually goes for the Hurricane. I guess starting to like do damage to me because he's scared of like a bulkier set. But I didn't reveal leftovers. It's weird. But I predicted sub and just went for Surf. I went for Draco, which is taking him out. But Surf still did 72%. So he gets the Hurricane off. He knows I'm scarfed. Like, yeah, okay, that's still fine with me. I don't need the health. So again, he goes Tailwind, which is an interesting set here. It takes me out. And now he goes Mamoswine. And he actually goes for the sub, I think, as I go Politoed, which is a good play. But also, I'm okay with that because I think I could either just scald. I could protect first, right, because I burn a turn of Tailwind and I get free leftovers. And since he's leftovers Mamoswine, I live 2 Earthquakes now. But also on top of that, Scald now. And if I really want to, I could Encore it later on as he clicks sub or Encore him in the Earthquake. And I got 3 Pokemon that don't take Earthquake damage. So yeah, he goes Ferrothorn here. And I Scald. And thankfully, I actually get the first burn here. Now, I could have just went to my my Ferrothorn and just traded, or my Thundurus-T and just traded with that, but that makes my life easier, so I can just go Tentacle now. And now I feel like I'm in a pretty big lead. He misses Power Up to make matters worse. That Power Up is only doing 24 to 29% damage, so not to end the world for him, but either way, now here's a huge play. I predict him to go Tentacle to try and get his own healthy, because if he's able to get this healthy again, then he's back in the game. But I Scald, I get that right, and he dies to Scald, and now the game's over pretty much, because I mean, I was in a huge advantage regardless, but now it's like, yeah, because I outrun Mamoswine, I live and hit from here, etc. So I could just get a spin off here. As you see, Drake only does 61. He wouldn't need a crit there. So yeah, I get the Toxic off first because I want to stall damage on this. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I can stall out Draco PP at this point. I can eventually wear him down. He goes Ferrothorn here. I just protect to be safe. And again, now I'm not even in power up crit range unless he gets absolute max damage. Even then, I don't think so. So I just protect again because why not? He's obviously firing this off. He goes Knock, and now I'm definitely not in any crit range, so I could just go for a spin, and even then I'm not crit range, so feeling pretty good. Spin brings him down to where Burn kills him, so he only gets 1 layer of hazards up if he wants to, but he goes for Knockoff, so now he's got no hazards up. My Tentacle kind of just wins the game at this point, but I want to play safe. I don't want to preserve a 6, so I want to play safe. So he goes Latios here. I go for the Protect to see what he locks into. He locks into Draco. I'm fine with that. I don't want to risk this getting crit because it outruns Mamoswine and doesn't die to Shard, so that's important. He doubles to Mamoswine, predicting me to play safe, and he gets that right as I go Ferrothorn. So now, I still 1v1 this, but I can miss Power Whip. So he goes sub here, as you see, and I miss Power Ups. That's 1. Now he goes Ice Crash, he misses, and I hit. So I'm like, okay, Retribution, no big deal, yo. And now I go Politoed, predicting the Ice Crash. He goes sub, though, so I'm like, okay, I could just Encore him into Earthquake, no big deal. Even then, Earthquake crit, I'm still probably fine. He gets the crit, so I'm like, I guess we'll find out. We're testing that theory now. I go Latios. Don't crit Shard. He doesn't even bother going for the crit Shard, which I'm kind of surprised about. He had to be Shard, right? So either way, he takes me out with Ice Crash. That's fine with me. Now I go Tentacle. I know I can kill this with Scald, so yeah. He goes to his Politoed. I get a Scald burned there. Protect on the Scald, and I'm like, yeah, okay, so he probably isn't going to be of the refresh variety. That's chill with me. I go Thundurus-T here, knowing fully well that I live even a Scald crit. He gets the burn, but yeah, that's fine with me, because even crit burn, yeah, I would have been around, it would have been a roll, basically. And now here, what I want to do here is I want to Focus Blast that Mamoswine, because it also puts the Ferrothorn, the Politoed into Rock's range, so it's fine if he stays in. He's never going Latios, but also I Protect, so taking Protect plus Focus plus Poison, you know, the damage racks up. I'm going a little too quickly. I gotta slow down a little bit. I'm so in this game. I'm so passionate right now. If you guys are still with me, leave a comment. I love you all. This is such a long video. Oh my goodness. I love this. I could talk about Blacklight for days. Oh my, I need to make like a fucking podcast about this shit. Anyway, I missed the fucking Focus Blast because, of course, we can't have nice things. But that's fine. He does reveal to be Ice Shard, by the way. So yeah, a Tentacle here, and now that's fine with me. I Scald there. I get 12% on the burn. 28% Politoed there. I Protect. And now he Scalds. And yeah, at this point, it's pretty much over. I Scald there. If that instant injury, he doesn't get a burn, so I take him out. And now I just Protect here. He Dracos. I fought off my Latios because I could just stall him out. At this point, he's got 3 Dracos, and I got Protect. So yeah, Protect here. And now I just double Protect, but I go Ferrothorn, and he can't crit through Ferrothorn at this point. So yeah, the game ends, and I just Scald burn this, and that's that. So yeah, I'm able to win game 1 against Gaetano. It could have been pretty lopsided, but I didn't want to risk anything, so I'm glad I didn't. I ultimately maximized my odds. So, yeah, and finally, at about the hour mark of this episode, we have game 2 of my set against Dr. Caetano 93. So this game, I had a different trick up my sleeve. I never use offensive Breloom. No one really does anymore. They're all Poison Heal. Spore is banned. Technician Breloom, it's just super inconsistent, but looking at his teams, none of them really like switching into Choice Banded Breloom. That shit hits like a fucking fiend, and this team is a great example of that, because odds are he leads with Rotom-Wash or Ferrothorn in this matchup. Because he knows I gotta protect with Breloom turn 1 to beat it around. So, moreover, I feel real good leading with my Choice Band Breloom. He's going to protect me, go to like Latios on a low sweep, which I outrun after that. Go Heatran, trying to take advantage of protecting like Magma Storm and get rocks up later. So I know right off the bat, I lead Breloom, I can get a fucking kill on turn 1 or turn 2. And lo and behold, it happened. So my master game plan, it worked. Low sweep there, Tran's gone, and I'm popping around. I'm feeling good. He goes, Mammo's fine. He clicks Icicle Scratch. I'm like, okay, it's the same as last game probably. It's like a bulky ass. It's like a sub Mammo's one with 3 attacks. That's fine. I go Hydro here in case he subs. I do a nice 56 to his tar. I'm like, okay, there's probably an offensive tar. That's fine with me. I want to go Breloom here because A, he might rock, and if he doesn't, he's either clicking Pursuit or Crunch. So that's fine with me. But he goes Ferrothorn, which is even better. So I get another freaking kill here. So it's like, okay, this is great. He goes Latios. It actually turns out he's Scarf Latios, though, so not Spec. So I don't outrun it, despite him being -1. But now I'm like, okay, I can go Tyranitar. He's got to double out if he wants to get around it, and he doesn't. So I can just Pursuit Trap this. And now I'm like really up. I'm up 2 Pokemon already. So it's like, damn, let's go. But if you look at my team, it's a Hexadrill and Landorus that are slower than Mammospine. So I actually kind of get 6-0 by the Mammospine with any damage on the Rotom. So I'm like kind of scared now. He goes Mammospine. Like, I got to fodder this off. And now here, I make what was probably my only misplay of the set. I go for Wisp instead of Hydro, but also, before, I thought he'd sub up on me before, scouting for Wisp, but he didn't, so he kind of bluffed me. He goes sub as I Wisp. I should have Hydroed, but yeah. Now I'm like, okay, I need to just hit Hydros. He goes Icicle Crash here. He gets to flinch. I'm like, okay, this isn't good. He's getting lefties. I'm not getting any damage. I gotta hit Hydros, and thank God I hit this one. He subs again. I'm like, oh, please hit. Please hit. So I hit, like, okay. Makes up for the flinch before. I'm like, okay, if I hit 2 or 3 more, I'm in the clear. I hit 1 here. Now I just gotta hit 1 more, and I know he's in Landorus-T Earthquake range, and since he's Jolly, and he's not, I never melt ice, I live, Landorus-T lives from full, so I'm like, okay. I hit that, so yeah, now whatever happens here, whatever happens here. But I actually, I hit this one, but then he Icicle Crashed here, and I missed my Wisp, which was optimal play, by the way, in case he goes Ferrothorn. It's only a 5% accuracy drop, so yeah, but like, okay. That just evens it out in my eyes. That's fine with me. He gets to kill there. And I'm like, okay. At this point, he doesn't know if I'm Scarf Landorus-T or Bulky Landorus-T. So I can go Landorus-T here, and I could just completely like bluff him out. Because I live in Ice Shard no matter what. He thinks I might be quicker than him. So I can just go for Rocks here to limit its amount of time switching in. In hindsight, U-turn might have been the play. U-turn might have been the play to get Breloom in, but I was worried about going for U-turn on him staying in, him living, getting damage off. At least Rocks means that I forced him to like to be careful later on, because then like he can only switch in 1 or 2 more times. But I think U-turn ultimately was a better play. Alright, so he goes Ferrothorn here, and now I calc here, and even if this is Gyro Ferrothorn, which as you may recall from my game 1 prep, he only has like 1 or 2 Gyro Ferrothorns in this whole scout of like 20 Ferrothorns, so I think that's not the case. I have an 88% Breloom. Max damage with Gyro Ball is 83.2%. Min damage is like low 70s, so I have like a 14 or 15 out of 16 chance to live this after Sand unless it crits. So I'm like, okay, even if he goes for that or goes for knockoff, I still have a free kill here, but he goes for Gyro and he gets max damage, so I'm like, yo, fuck, I can lose now. I probably do lose now. So now I'm in the pickle. I'm like, you know, this has been a quite unlucky game. He goes Tar here. At least I get a kill with Drill, so it's good with me. He doesn't want to risk the Rotom-Wash yet. Now, okay. Now he goes to it. I'm like, okay, I got to go to my Latios here on probably a Wisp. Yep, that's a good play. Now here, I threaten him out with the prospect of Draco. He can't let this get weakened, so he doesn't know if Drill's quicker or slower than Mammospine yet, so that's why. So I can double to Drill here, or go for a Trick. I go Trick, right. I go Trick this time, okay. Now Ferrothorn isn't gaining any leftovers, that's good for me. So I go Drill. He goes Leech Seed, which Leech Gyro is weird, because that means that he doesn't have Power Whip, so like, against, say, a Rain team, it's kind of awkward, but against a non-rain team, it actually is much better, so it's fair. Anyway, I go Landorus-T here now. He goes Rotom-Wash. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I could U-turn here. I'm forcing that plus rock damage onto it. I might have a chance at winning. I also gain leftovers with this, and I could live Icicle Crash from Mamoswine. I go back to Latios here. He has to go Pain Split. I think Hydro might have been a bit better than him, but he goes Pain Split, predicting Drill perhaps, which is fair. Now here, I double to Drill this time, predicting the Ferrothorn. I get it right. I got to get every single turn right to have a chance at winning this game, basically. Now here, I go Earthquake, predicting not to go Rotom-Wash. He goes for the Leech Seed again. I could spin it because I know he's locked into Leech Seed. And now this is getting tight. I'm flowing back into this game here. It's crazy tight. He takes Rocks, plus Spin, and Sand gets leftovers. So he's now at 42% with this. And he takes Rocks next time. If I can bring it in Pain Split, I'm actually in decent shape. And my Latios is taking so much damage from his Will-O-Wisp, which is kind of why I think he should have Hydroed before in hindsight. But hey, we'll take it. Because this damage actually helping me. He can't Pain Split, so he's got a Hydro here. And now at this point, I think I just attack, knowing I live another turn because I've got leftovers tricked. Yeah, I go as Ferrothorn, so I know I could just fire this off. I'm fine taking the damage. So I get the Draco off here, which is good. Now, even a min-damage Earthquake obviously kills the Ferrothorn from this map. So I'm in the clear at this point, and he goes Gyro Ball, which is fine with me. I go Protect to gain leftovers. I go Earthquake to take this out. Now he goes Mamoswine. I go Landorus-T here. I skipped ahead a crucial turn. I need to get this right. If I stand on Earthquake, I can, in fact, lose the game because an Adamant Icicle Crash, I'm not sure if it's set yet, can kill Landorus-T a decent amount of the time. 8 plus Flinch is favorable. So I gotta predict him going for Earthquake and go to Landorus-T, or predict him going for Icicle Spear and stay in here and then not get Flinch. He knows he's quicker than me at this point, given the Gyro Ball damage. So I go Landorus-T on the Earthquake, and then he reveals himself to be Jolly, and he doesn't get the Flinch, so I'm able to live the Icicle Crash despite being 4 times super effective in Stab, get off the kill with Earthquake, and win what was a crazy close game 2 for Caetano for the win. I'm able to get a U-turn off here, fodder off the Latios, then take it out with a final U-turn to win the Black and White Championship for the 3rd year in a row. Holy crap, what a game. This is why I play. It was so fun. Oh my, wow. You know that feeling, like that exhilarating feeling when like the game's on the line, you're making all these moves, maneuvering around. Oh boy. This was so fun, guys, and I'm so glad I could share this with you. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you watched the whole time, I really do appreciate it, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you all have a great day. This is one of 3 tournament sets because I hate myself that I'm bringing you guys today, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching. And yeah, I love Black White. So, all right, peace out, guys. Bye-bye. Have a great one. Stay safe. Like, comment, subscribe, etc. All right, peace, guys. Later.